Hi everyone, thanks for watching my Module 6. I chose Osmosis for my activity. And so just a little overview of the activity. Students will study and illustrate the process of osmosis using gummy bears and various liquids. So I would give the students the opportunity to pick an experiment with liquids in however way they wanted to. So they could pick from soda, water, salt water, vinegar, a bunch of different liquids. They would just have to pick three. And students would work in small groups to create, plan, and observe the osmosis effect using the sheet that I created in the next couple slides that you'll see, just examining the effect that osmosis has on each gummy bear. You would need to have this lesson going throughout at least 2 class periods because the gummy bears do have to sit in the liquid for at least 24 hours. And then afterwards, I would have a class and group discussion, basically talking about each student's findings and deepening everybody's overall understanding of the osmosis effect. Explaining how this aligns to STEM practices, it's very integrated. So obviously science, learning about the osmosis effect in general, technology, researching prior to, engineering, designing different environments, and math, measuring and recording throughout the activities. So it also relates to the inquiry continuum, very student self-directed, learners are engaged and asking and posing their own questions, which is super important, especially in my classroom. So also explaining how it adheres just to inquiry in general, very hands-on. Students are at the center of the learning process, collaboration with peers and teachers, and problem solving, and using those critical thinking skills throughout. I'm in a K-6 building where I teach special education, so that is super important for my students to focus on throughout their inquiry learning process. So this was me going through my experiment on my activity. So I chose the liquids water, red vinegar, and salt water. And this is the images of the gummy bears prior to soaking in the liquid. And then after, you can see I put a regular gummy bear next to each one. And then you can see this was what the water did to this gummy bear, the red vinegar. And actually the red vinegar was a little bit larger in real life than what this picture is depicting. And then the salt water actually ended up being a little bit smaller. So I would ask the students, well, why do we think this is happening? What's occurring here? And I would try and kind of get students background information. So this is a lesson that I would do probably to get my students excited about osmosis. So in the intro stages of osmosis, teaching this, and really focusing on, well, why did the salt water make the gummy bear appear to be smaller? Getting them to realize how that salt is causing more water to leave that gummy bear, making that a little bit shorter. And just understanding how osmosis is that process from moving the movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration and that semi-permeable membrane. So just getting their gears moving about that. And then you can see here, I created 2 handouts. So this actually walks the students through their inquiry learning process. They're coming up with hypothesis, noting what materials they're using, drawing pictures, measuring the gummy bears prior, observing what they looked like after, and recording those measurements after, and then their final results of what happened to each bear. You can see this is a very accommodated worksheet since I do work with students with special needs, so you could kind of design that and improvise how you would need. And then I also created this worksheet that I would have them put in their student science journals. It's really talking about, again, what osmosis is, what happened to the gummy bears, what is a semi-permeable membrane, and then linking it to the real world. So I would do this right after my plant unit and then linking that back so that it would really come full circle for the kids. And then I also put a helpful video for families at the bottom. Thanks so much.